Okay, before we continue, remember to save your file. Do a file save as. And if you're my student, I want you to save it as leopard, your name, .psd. You'll be uploading a JPEG, but this is the file name you should be using for this. Okay, so the next step is to take all the black line work and put it on its own layer. Okay, so to separate all the black line work from the white background. The procedure is a little bit weird and strange if you've never done it before. If you're my student, I will provide you with this PDF that lists all the steps. You can come back to this point of the video to review what's going on here if you get lost. Alrighty, so let's go back to Photoshop. First thing to do is to make sure your high contrast layer is selected and do a Command or Control A to select everything, so you'll get marching ants going all the way around. Command or Control C, C as in cat, to copy. So now this image is copied, and this is new stuff now. So come over here to the Layers palette, click on Channels, and we're going to create a new channel. Okay, and this is new stuff. This is completely new material for this course. Now we're going to paste the image into this new channel. So, okay, we got the new Alpha 1 channel. Command or Control V as in Victor. And there's our image in all its glory. So we're in this Alpha 1 channel. Now what we're going to do is make this channel into a selection. Okay, so what you do on a Mac, hold down Command, or on a PC, hold down Control, click, hold, and drag, and hover, pardon me, don't click, hold, and drag, hover over the new Alpha 1 channel. So I'm holding down Command or Control on the PC, hold down Command and hover over the Alpha 1 channel and click. Now if we look over here at the marching ants now, it looks like everything has been selected. So all the white areas are now a selection. Okay, so all the white areas are now a selection. Well, we want all the black areas to be a selection. So when you see marching ants all over your image like this, do select invert. There's a keyboard shortcut, but just to make life easy, let's just go to select inverse. Very, very important step, so don't miss that. Alright, so now all the black areas are selected. Now, come back to your Layers palette, click on Layers, make a new layer that's blank. And just to emphasize what's going on here, unclick the eyeball in high contrast. Okay, so now you should just have a whole bunch of marching ants that's emulating the image. Now we can paint over this with a paintbrush, but it's much easier to fill this, and the way to do that is to make sure that black, come over here and hit the default, so black is in the foreground. The keyboard shortcut to fill a selection is Option Delete on the Mac, or Alt Delete on the PC. So it's kind of weird. So make sure black is in the foreground. You got your marching ants, Option Delete on the Mac, and it all fills in with black. Okay, and of course it's Control Delete on the or pardon me, it's Alt Delete. Jeez, I'm confusing the heck out of you. I'll put it up here on the screen. All right, again. All right, so Alt Delete fills with the foreground color on the PC. Okay, far out and groovy. Alrighty. So now let's call layer 1 over here lines, and we can deselect now because we completed our mission. So Command or Control D to deselect. Or you could just choose like a selection tool, marquee selection tool, and click anywhere. Click, ta-da. Okay, so now we have lines. Remember we turned off our high contrast layer a little bit ago. This would be a really good time to save your file so we don't lose all our work. So save. Remember we saved it in a known location earlier. Come back to here to the layers palette, and let's click on this layer, make a new layer, and call it white. This is, you can call it white background too, or you can just call it back. Well, yeah. Make sure the word white is in there because we're going to keep it white. Come over to your color picker, and you can hit these little curly arrows so white is in the foreground. You can choose the paint bucket tool. The paint bucket tool resides underneath this gradient tool. Choose paint bucket tool. Make sure white background layer is selected and click once, and it fills it with white, and there, doesn't that look gorgeous? Okay, so now, because of this procedure, what happened now is when we filled this, we filled it at 300 dpi. So now we have a very high-res 300 dpi image, and life is good. All right, so, but just make sure what layer you're working on here. Make sure what layer is selected. Be cognizant of that as we go forward, but we're going to stop here and then continue on in the next video. So save your file. Again, if you messed up something, just rewind the video, do it all over again. You should have a white background layer. You should have a lines layer that has only the lines on it. So if I deselect the eyeball on lines, that's what happens. All right. So you should have lines, white background. I'll see you in the next video.